Member, let me say, member, just let me say, since the announcement of this 150 million US dollar loan to JPS, you would have heard the minister talk about what it will do in terms of just ensuring that we have electricity island-wide over the next 2 months, which is significant. Otherwise, persons without would have to wait for a much longer period of time. And I just want to say to you that there are so many persons who called me to say how very proud they are of the government and the ability of the government to be able to extend US $150 million to our electricity company. I can't think of another time, another government, certainly not on your side, that would have been able to do this.
Member from Eastern Westmoreland.
Chairman Mike.
Yeah. Minister, just to follow up on that, despite the fanfare that is going on. Minister, if JPS is requiring $450 million so that the good people of Eastern Westmoreland and elsewhere can receive can receive electricity, and currently from what we are aware of thus far, the government is willing to lend 150 out of the amount. Yes? Of the 450, the government is willing to lend 450, government is willing to lend 50. Well, 350, whichever figure it is, say 350, the government is willing to lend 150, but they require 350 so that all the persons that are currently affected can get back light.
No, man, you ask the question, ask the question.
What is the sum that is required by JPS to restore electricity to all of the persons who are currently affected?
So the Minister of Energy has just indicated 150 million US dollars.
So that means that the $350 million is to restore and?
Those are details that we don't have. JPS would be the entity that would answer those questions as to the details of any loan that they take on.
But I am not sure, Minister, that is what we were presented with in this House. We were told that JPS required $350 million and that the government would be loaning $150 million. That is what we were told. Absolutely. Has that number been revised?
So the minister has indicated US 150 to restore by the end of January 2026.
So who's lying somewhere? Somebody not telling the truth. Somebody not telling the truth. Eh? Yeah. You can, I say, who's lying? I ask the question. You can decide whatever the answer is.
The minister, this is not as easy as just a soapbox moment. This is not a political soapbox moment to just say 150 and you get back light. It's not. What we're talking about here is also the finances of the country. So I'm saying I need to know when JPS did their estimates, their assessment as to the damage from the devastating Category 5 hurricane, what is it that is required to restore electricity to all of the persons that were affected? That's what I need to know, because previously we were all of the impression that that was 350 million. Then we heard it being revised upwards to about 400 million. And now we are told that only 150 million is required to restore electricity to all affected
All
persons.
right, so member,
Something smells there.
member, please put your questions to the Minister of Energy in the order, the parliamentary order, and he will respond at that time.
Not even you know.
Chair, just to follow up on that, It is an important question, because if 350 million is the figure that is required, and they have received 150, it would leave a shortfall of 200. Now, if JPS is currently in a predicament where the license that they have to operate, they currently have no guarantee beyond another 2 years, and their entire revenue that they will earn over those 2 years is less than the 200 million, then it would mean that some further assessment would need to be done prior to making a loan of 150 million US. It makes a whole heap of sense. Yes, they want light. Yes, they do. And that's why we need to know how much to give them light. We need to know how much to give them the light that they need.
Hold on, member. The JPS is not a government entity. It is not a ministry agency or department of government. Hold on.
I'm holding.
And so, member, while you can ask questions as it relates to what is in the budget and the supplementary estimate, to ask how a business plans to be able to finance and execute
I wasn't asking that.
the remainder of the money needed to restore us,
No.
of the Minister of Finance would not be appropriate at this place and
But,
stage.
Madam Chair, you are accusing me of something that I did not do or I did not say. Hold on. My concern is that my government, yes, is lending from taxpayers' money 150 million US to JPS. I need to know, right, if that is a wise financial transaction that my government is undertaking. I have a right to know that. The answer to that question is not just that the people want light. The answer to that question is not just that the people want light. Right? No. If it is that they require 350 and their license only has 2 more years on it, then any prudent individual is going to think twice before they lend them the money, because they have no guarantee to continue operating beyond 2 years.
All right, member,
so
hold
on
on
what
a moment.
basis
Member-
did the finance ministry
Member-
take a decision to lend the 150 million?
Member, hold on a minute, please.
So, madam,
So member,
Madam-
put those
madam,
questions.
oh,
I'm just saying,
Members, please,
Please.
allow Member Green to
I
speak.
implore
He's
you,
on-
member.
Finance Minister, a moment.
yeah, Madam Speaker, just to say, Chair, this matter was raised in the House and was fully ventilated. Madam Chair, the Minister of Energy gave a comprehensive statement on this matter. The questions were asked. I made this point to make. We are not saying that there can't be further concerns, but we have to remember what we're treating with now. Questions have been asked about the loan and have been answered. The other questions would have to be directed to the Minister of Energy, right? Would have to be. Questions in relation to would have to be directed to the Minister of Energy. And I will repeat, a lot of the information that is now being shared is information that was shared by the Minister of Energy in his statement. And it's information that questions, the same questions were asked. Same questions.
So, members who have your mic on, could you turn it off so I can allow, some deference to the
I thank you
opposition?
very much, Madam Chairman. This matter is a matter for the Ministry of Finance, especially because the Minister had promised further details, because when the presentation was done by the Minister of Energy, we did not have the details. And it is quite rightly put, because it is going to be in this budget a provision for 23 billion Jamaican dollars that the Ministry of Finance is lending to a body corporate on the basis that that would be some part payment for the complete sum that is to come somehow for the restoration. So if the Minister of Finance is going down the road to lend this money, the Ministry of Finance ought to be able to say that they are satisfied that the full money for restoration will come, or else it is just your loan down the wicket. And I think it's inappropriate. Right. So unless Minister, you are going to resign from the 350, which I don't know how you can credibly do that when we were told that it's 350. So the question to you, Minister, is: are you satisfied that it is only 150 million US that is needed to restore all the electricity, especially from the members' constituency of East, Westerland, and so on? If there is more needed, is the minister satisfied that that more will be coming, and from whom? Because, Minister, the direct question to you is whether or not the government of Jamaica will be footing the entire bill of 350. And that's a question. No, it is a fair question.